everyone. I'm Dia Davidson. As we continue our discussion on race, this time we're going to focus on love, not just any kind of love, but Black love, and what it means to be a strong Black couple, to have those types of values, how it's survived all of these years, and the attempts, we have to be honest, the attempts to destroy the foundation of the Black family. Joining me now are two of my most favorite folks in the whole wide world. That is Pastor Richard Gaines and his wonderful, beautiful wife, Sarah Gaines, First Lady, First Family of Consolidated Baptist Church here in Lexington. And they have been married for 31 years, so I think that makes you experts on the subject of Black love. Welcome.
Good morning. Good to see you.
Okay, so we know, especially in religion, all of the different variants of love. But there's something that's very special. I remember as a kid, Ebony Magazine doing the special issue on Black love and seeing Jermaine Jackson and Berry Gordy's daughter on the front cover. That's my memory of seeing any type of discussion of Black love. But what is, to you, Black love?
Well, Dia, I think when you think of Black love over just love in general, you got to look at our history. Black love, we believe, is rooted in the struggle we've come through, from oppression, from slavery, from active entities that sought to separate us, whether it was slavery or economics or sociological practices within the community we find ourselves in. All of those things were active participants in separating us. But through all of that, we're yet still here standing as a picture of Black love. And so it's that which has been forged in the fire that is determined to stand against the odds, whatever they may be, and come out on the other side victorious.
Let's talk a little bit, Pastor, though, as you were mentioning about slavery and the destruction, if you will, of the family unit, where husbands and wives, children were separated, forcibly separated. That has damaged, though, the union to some degree. Would you agree?
Absolutely. There are casualties of every battle. And though slavery has been many years ago as we knew it then, the effects are still being felt now. And so, I hear people say, well, just get over it, just forget it, move on. Believe me, we'd like to. But the systemic issues that are present in society remind us that those vestiges still remain on both sides of the aisle.
Sir, you're a highly educated man. Your wife is equally as educated.
Amen.
And degreed. Some would say that's challenging, Sarah Gaines. Do you think you challenge him, or do you just make him better? Or is it a combination of both?
My goal is to always make him better. Like, I want Richard to make me better. Sometimes it is challenging because I think sometimes we really want cheerleaders, not coaches. And so, cheerleaders are always real upbeat and peppy, you're wonderful, and boom, boom, bye, all that kind of stuff. Whereas a coach will get in your face, tell you where you messed up, help you fix it. And so I try to be encouraging to Richard. He tries to be encouraging to me, but certainly we just want the best for each other. We both want to fulfill our God-given purpose. And so he helps me do that, and I hope that I help him do that.
But then we get labeled.
Yes.
As women, we get labeled, and then there becomes this, well, I don't want to deal with this Black woman.
Yes.
I'll deal with something else.
Yes.
Is that eroding our self-esteem, our family structures, or is there a conversation that needs to happen so that everybody understands what we're all about?
I think a conversation needs to happen because it is not fair to Black women. There are things that we've had to do, we've been forced to do, and we've been forced to be strong. We've been forced to just handle our business, for lack of a better word. And so we're labeled as abrasive. If someone else does it, then they're just aggressive. They're assertive. I'm sorry, they're assertive. They're self-motivated. They're just goal-oriented. But when it's us, it seems to have a negative connotation. And so I think as children, if we're taught that this is probably going to happen, like we talk a lot about the talk that people are having now about the police and and being Black and racism. I think for little brown girls, little Black girls, we need to have that talk also, that people are going to label you. They're not going to know what to do with your intelligence. They're not going to know what to do with your confidence. But Richard always says that we need to hear some things at home so that if a man tells us in the street, it's not the first time we've heard it and we're not blown away by it. Or if someone degrades us in the street, we're not fazed by it because we've already been told who we are and we're confident in that.
And I would add, Dia, that there are really two sides to this coin. Historically, again, going back to the issues of slavery and the vestiges of that now that we deal with, the Black man was literally, the idea of the slave master was to break him down, to rip apart any masculinity that was left in him, and often did this before the woman publicly to make him be less than a man. And so today, many men are still looking for their own identity. And unfortunately, some of us have bought into the societal practices that I'm more of a man if I keep my woman down, rather than seeking to be who God would call you to be as a man and affirming the helpmate that God has given him and seeing her not as a challenge to him, but as a compliment to help make him better and more complete in biblical language.
So where does the Black family, where does Black love go and grow from here? For you, 31 years, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of loving and sometimes probably a little bit of, I don't like you right now kind of a thing, right? I mean,
Yes.
that's just real. So,
Yes.
so 31 years from now, where do you see your Black love?
So we say we want to live to be 100. So yes, we expect to still be together 31 years from now. One of the things is we really had to pray through some things. When we got married, we took our vows very seriously. We said till death do us part. We said for richer, for poorer, sickness, health, better or worse. And we've had some of that. We've both been sick. We've struggled financially. Richard was in seminary and our income was limited, and things have been challenging. There are a lot of demands on Richard, and so that sometimes makes it hard to be maybe where I want him to be or what I want at the house. So we've had to pray through it. We've had to talk a lot. But one thing is we've just been committed to it. And so whatever it is, you can be a man if you want to, but we have to work through it because we're serious about our commitment. I always say that because the marriage represents Christ in the church, that it's just one of those things that I'm not going to violate. And I'm not going to give up on, because that says my God can't do anything. And he can do anything. And so we just have to be willing to fight through it. And so sometimes it's a fight that may be a spiritual battle or it may be otherwise, but sometimes you just have to fight through it, knowing that we want the same thing and we're not going to give up on it.
And I would add simply this, Dia. I would say to couples to not be afraid to seek help beyond themselves. Don't wait until disaster strikes before you reach out to another couple that's been through it, or even professional biblical counseling. And I really emphasize biblical, Bible-based counseling, because there's a lot of things out here that masquerade as good ideas, but it's not rooted in Scripture. So being Christians, we want it rooted in Scripture. And so don't be afraid or so prideful, is probably a good word, that we say we can handle it ourselves.
And to find a couple that is godly and
Yes.
believers as well, who will keep everything safe in that environment.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I love you all so very much. My family loves you all so much. Thank you for sharing your Black love with us.
Thank you.
And thank you guys so very much for joining in on our conversation on Black love. We're going to have so many more of these conversations coming up in the weeks to come. But of course, if you want to follow this and some of the other conversations, be sure to join LEX18 on air and on all of our social media platforms. Until next time, I'm Dia Davidson.